How's it going, everyone? My name is Nick Klaus, and welcome back to the Morbid Vale. Today, we are pleased to present to you yet another wicked build for the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. But first, if you haven't seen our previous video, click the link above to view it. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the hurricane of the God of Thunder. During the Daedric conquest of Nirn, known by mortals as the Oblivion Crisis, Uriel Septim VII was assassinated by the mythic Dawn. Martin Septim, Uriel's illegitimate son, took up the burden of Emperor, but sacrificed himself to save Nirn from the Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon. However, Martin was not the last of the Septim bloodline, as many were led to believe. After his death and the defeat of Mehrunes Dagon, the mythic Dawn sought out the very last of Uriel's bloodline and tracked it to a Nordic woman living on the border of Cyrodiil and Skyrim. They murdered the woman and stole her child, the last true Septim. The mythic Dawn took the child to the shrine of Dagon in Skyrim and offered the baby to the Daedric prince. The child began to cry, and as he did, the sky turned black and lightning flashed all around. The cultists quickly placed the child on the altar, and as they were about to sacrifice the baby boy, he disappeared in a purple void. A laugh echoed from the shrine, and soon the sky began to clear up, but not before a few more bolts of lightning struck down from the heavens and killed the mythic Dawn cultists. Over the next several hundred years, the son of Uriel Septim was raised by Mehrunes Dagon himself, trained to reign as the future general of the Dremora armies. He mastered his power over the force of lightning, and soon the whole of the Deadlands deemed him the God of Thunder. While Mehrunes Dagon did not take kindly to his underlings acknowledging another in his realm as a god, he could not deny the power that his son possessed. Dagon's cult in Skyrim was repairing another Oblivion Gate, and his armies had been made stronger than ever. He assembled the Dremora hordes and brought forth his long-groomed general, and in front of all the Daedra of the Deadlands, Mehrunes Dagon anointed his son, saying,
"This is my son, the God of Thunder, my left hand of destruction. I give him power over all that is mine. Only Dagon shall be greater."
As the armies roared in admiration for their gods, their applause was soon silenced. One jealous Dremora lord had acquired a powerful totem, and with it he cast the Dragonborn out of the Deadlands, locking away his memories, forcing him to become a weak, petty mortal once more. Enraged by this act of defiance, Dagon tore the Dremora lord apart, but he was unable to reverse the damage that had been done. The Nord man appeared in the field, unconscious, surrounded by fighting soldiers in blue and steel. Days later, he finally awoke, sitting in a cart with strangers, and only a handful of memories. When asked who he was, he replied, "I am the God of Thunder." Now let's talk about gameplay. The God of Thunder only has a handful of memories left when he starts his journey through the icy land of Skyrim. He follows the Stormcloak, Ralof, into the keep, but only so he could get revenge on that arrogant captain who ordered his execution. He wears her heavy armor out of the stronghold, leading the path to freedom in a flurry of unbridled rage and carnage. He first taps into the power of the Warrior Stone, honing his skills in combat as he slaughters many in his pursuit to regain his memories and power. After regaining his skills in combat, he accesses the power of the Mage Stone, and slowly begins to regain his memories and skills with the power of lightning. Likewise, he begins to learn how to harness the souls of his victims and use them to enhance his own power by enchanting his menacing armor and weapon. As he regains these powerful skills, he slowly begins to regain more and more of his memories. He remembers the hot burning sky, the boiling soil, and the wicked lightning that flashed in the skies. He begins to seek out the Daedric princes, trying to figure out which one it was that he served. He becomes a vampire lord and discovers the mace of Molag Bal. However, the Daedric Prince of Domination does not give off the same energy as the one he remembers. He becomes the leader of the Dark Brotherhood, but both the Night Mother and Sithis are hollow and give only a feeling of emptiness. He seeks out Hermaeus Mora, and though he obtains great power from the Daedric Prince, Apocrypha is not the same realm he has memories of. Eventually he is approached by a courier who gives him a pamphlet about a mythic Dawn museum. He seeks out the fragments of Mehrunes Dagon, and when he places his hands upon the altar at Dagon's shrine, the voice and energy he senses is in fact the same he remembered. Dagon gifted his razor to the God of Thunder for a job well done, and as his champion held the dagger in his hand, he remembered everything. Mehrunes Dagon had been watching his son traverse the land of Skyrim and saw what he had become, a rival. For hundreds of years, the God of Thunder had trained to be a great monster in combat and the arcane arts, and in only a few months he regained all of his skills, and in the process obtained new, more devastating power. He had been meant to lead the armies of the Daedra, but now was more than a match for his father. The God of Thunder truly lived up to his name, and was now a true godlike being, walking upon the face of Tamriel with power over the souls of the dragons, the lightning of the heavens, and the lives of all mortals. Even with all of this power, he would have happily returned to his father's side, but seeing how his father never tried to reclaim him, to teach him, guide him, or aid him that day in Helgen, he abandoned his father's will. This decision was further cemented when he tracked down the Oblivion Gate and the remaining mythic Dawn in Skyrim. He finds that his father had replaced him with 2 Dremora generals. Enraged, he kills his father's new puppets, stealing their souls and weapons that his father had gifted to them. He then bequeaths these weapons to his most devout followers. Serana is gifted Torment, and Cicero is gifted Scourge. After regaining all of his memories and power, the God of Thunder begins to act like a true deity. He helps those who desperately require his aid, but at a cost of their immortal souls. But he's also a force of destruction, and does not hesitate to kill those in his path. Any who oppose him are fair game, any who insult him are condemned, and any who betray him are already forgotten, cast into eternal obscurity. He's a man of few words, relying primarily on his brute strength and unbreakable will. When he does have to converse with others, he uses intimidation whenever possible. But if they laugh at him, calling his bluff, he has no problem in slaughtering them and all of their kin. He fights with the Stormcloaks, seeing that he can use Ulfric as a pawn when he eventually ascends to the Dragon Throne. He also keeps a very close watch within the Dark Brotherhood, in case any important assassinations are called for that could help him in his conquest of Tamriel. But he does not go around sneaking like the other assassins. Rather, he bombards his enemies with a brutal attack, breaking their shields, bones, and finally crushing their skulls. Speaking of crushing skulls, let's talk about combat for the God of Thunder. While going against his enemies, the God of Thunder holds nothing back and attacks his enemies with no mercy. He calls down a raging storm at the beginning of most battles, and at a distance he uses potent lightning spells such as Chain Lightning and Wall of Storms. But he is just as destructive in close combat as he is with the arcane arts. He crushes his enemy's bones with his Daedric mace and takes full advantage of his vampiric powers, using his supernatural reflexes to gain the upper hand in combat. In addition to his brute strength and unbridled malice, the God of Thunder typically has 2 Storm Thralls that aid him in battle. Should either die, however, he will call forth Tremora Lords to aid him in combating a large number of enemies. Once the battle is over, he will summon his Thralls once more. Now that we've talked about the God of Thunder and his brutal fighting skills, let's talk about his defensive skills and the gear he uses. The Horns of Thunder is the name given to his dragonbone helmet. It was forged out of the bones of the mighty dragon Mirmolnir, and was forged with the souls of powerful sorcerers. It gives the God of Thunder greater power over the souls of Oblivion, as well as it taps into Aetherius itself to replenish his lost magicka. Thundering Hide is the name of the chest piece worn by the God of Thunder. Rumour has it that the armour is fueled by the blood and souls of those who had fallen to the God of Thunder. The blood and souls work together to increase his health and armour durability significantly. The lightning gauntlets are an item that many covet. They're said to be filled with the God of Thunder's cruelty and skill in combat. Rumour has it that the God of Thunder's hits are so powerful that he can shatter the skull of a dragon. Those who have studied the God of Thunder from a safe distance believe that if any were to possess these gauntlets, they too would wield his brute strength. Rolling Thunder is the name given to the set of boots worn by the God of Thunder. The boots themselves are designed to protect the God of Thunder as well as give him great recovery while in combat. He can withstand some of the most powerful finer spells and can brutally massacre all of his foes within mere minutes. Targe of the Blooded is a unique shield that the God of Thunder pried from the cold hands of a weak mortal in Blackreach. He uses the deadly spikes at the ends to great effectiveness when facing his enemies. Dead Storm is the name given to the amulet worn by the God of Thunder. It provides him with a nearly infinite source of magicka and can heal any wound in moments. The Warmaker's Ring is a powerful item worn by the God of Thunder. It grants him a stronger connection to his destructive power, as well as it heals him almost instantly when combined with the Dead Storm amulet. Thunderstruck is the name of the devastating Daedric mace that the God of Thunder uses to crush the skulls of his enemies. It's rumoured to be fueled by the very air of the Deadlands itself. It shocks the body, burns the flesh, and consumes the souls of every victim. Now let's talk about the perks and stats of the God of Thunder. As stated earlier, the God of Thunder is a master of combat. He uses his mace and shield to great effectiveness, and is a master of the lightning element. To be more effective in combat, he has mastered many skills associated with heavy armor, smithing, and enchanting. He has also learned many skills associated with the Scroll of Alteration, granting him an even greater advantage in combat. He uses his connection to the realms of Oblivion to call forth 2 powerful Storm Thralls. But should they die, he will summon Tremora Lords in their stead, until he has time to call the Atronachs back to his side. During the time when he was a weak, defenseless mortal with few memories, the God of Thunder learned many skills associated with the art of restoration. This was not an entire waste, however, as he did obtain great power from the arcane school that has made him an even greater force of destruction. As the Lord of the Deadlands, the God of Thunder learned many ways to torture and mutilate his victims. As Dragonborn, he's discovered many more. Thunderstrike is performed by the God of Thunder calling down a mighty storm, summoning a lightning cloak, and bombarding his enemies with heavy attacks and wall of storms. Roaring Shock is performed by the God of Thunder slowing time and using the devastating lightning storm ability to disintegrate all in his path. It's very simple, but incredibly destructive. Massacre is a power that is self-explanatory by name. The God of Thunder summons a lightning cloak, calls forth his dragon aspect, slows time, unleashes a battle cry, and then proceeds to brutally massacre every living thing in his vicinity. Not a single animal, mortal, or dragon can withstand this brutish onslaught. Roaring Storm is enacted by the God of Thunder taking on his dragon aspect, calling down a hellish storm, and channeling all of his power into a destructive force with unbound storms. Very few will get close enough to touch him, but not a single soul will be left alive by the end of the night. We hope you all enjoyed our second evil build, the God of Thunder. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of our next video. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you all here next time on The Morbid Veil.